Well, this is a big one. What's going on, everybody? My name is Blitzwinger. Ladies and gentlemen, Marvel Rivals is dropping a 1.5 gigabyte update on us this week, which is going to introduce a slew of fantastic stuff. We're talking about free skins, we're talking about paid new skins, another battle pass, things are getting a little controversial at this point, and much more. Now, of course, guys, if you do enjoy today's Marvel Rivals update video, scroll on down, smash that thumbs up button. Thank you guys so very much for your continued support and your kindness. Let's aim for 1,000 likes, and without further ado, let's dive into all the details. So yes indeed, we kick things off with the brand new skins. Every single store update on Thursday night, we get 2 brand new skins, and this week one of those 2 brand new skins is going to be the binary fist version of Iron Fist, and holy moly, it looks pretty freaking awesome. This is of course one of the skins that is themed for season 2.5, where essentially our heroes and villains are being corrupted and possessed by the evil forces of Ultron. So this is kind of a makeshift, almost like cyborg version of these characters, and it looks pretty dang cool. I really do like the design quite a bit. This skin has been confirmed to be of the epic rarity, which means it will run you 1,600 units if you go the purchase of the bundle route. Of course, if you're going to buy the skin by itself, that would run you 1,400 units instead. And with the introduction of this brand new Iron Fist skin, his overall skin count is actually going up to 6, because currently he has available to him the default look, the recolor, which is titled the Martial Arts Savant. Then we got the really cool looking Sword Master, the only legendary skin that he has, which is Lion's Gaze. And then of course, he most recently was also part of the Battle Pass, where he received the Immortal Weapon of Agamotto variant. Well, once the Binary Fist goes live this Thursday, he will have 6 total skins available to him. And then we jump over to the incredibly cool looking Phoenix Knight. Now, this is of course a version of Moon Knight that is inspired by the Phoenix Force variant, which opens up a whole can of worms in terms of possibilities, in terms of the Phoenix 5, or maybe just Phoenix powered characters being introduced here as we continue to march towards season number 3. Of course, with these teasers of Phoenix powered characters and previous teasers of Jean Grey existing and being worked on as a possible character, I now have to kind of start to believe that Jean Grey might be one of the 2 heroes that we can expect to debut in season number 3. Let me know who you think will be popping up. I'm hopeful that Blade is finally going to wake up so we could have Blade and maybe Jean Grey join us on the roster. But as far as the skin itself is concerned, I have to say it does look really nice. They really nailed the look for this one. Actually considering adding this one to my collection because I have been trying to learn Moon Knight lately. So once we have the official character trailer, I think that is when I'm going to make my decision, depending on how cool or not cool the MVP screen ends up being. So from the paid skins, we move on to the free skins, because everybody loves free. First and foremost, we are going to be getting ourselves a new Twitch drop. Now, this is going to be an exciting one, especially for those of you that do play Magic, because continuing the Will of Galactus skin drops, this time Magic is the one to receive that treatment. But of course, similar to previous fashions, not only are you going to be able to get the skin, which does look pretty dang cool, by the way. I really think that the color combination here works super duper well for Magic, but there are other rewards that you'll be able to earn on the way to unlocking the free skin. So by watching for 1 hour, you'll be able to get a Will of Galactus spray. By watching for 2 hours, you'll be able to get the Will of Galacta Magic nameplate. Then by watching for 4 hours, you will indeed be able to earn a new emote titled The Echoes of Limbo, which sounds pretty dang cool. And 6 hours of watch time will earn you the previously mentioned Magic skin itself. Now, keep in mind that this event is going to be running starting with June 19th and ending on July 16th. So again, you should have a pretty decent amount of time here in terms of actually being able to complete this and earn the skins / other rewards that you might be after. But the free skins do not stop there, because we then move on to our newest event pass titled Venom's Bubble Pop, or I guess you want to just refer to this as a limited time event. But let's be honest, the presentation of this thing definitely screams like a mini battle pass. And actually, as a slight aside, I'm very curious to hear from you guys. Do you feel like there are a little too many of these like mini events or mini battle passes being sold for this game a little too quickly? Or are you perfectly okay with it because of the fact that they continue to give free stuff along with these new mini events? And this one is actually going to be no different, because there are 7 rewards that you'll be able to unlock in this particular event just for free, which I think is super duper neat. So what are those free rewards? Well, we're gonna have an Emma Frost themed spray titled The Cold Kiss. There will be the Human Torch Future Foundation spray. There will be a Human Torch Future Foundation nameplate. There's a very cute and adorable Jeff's New Kicks emote, which looks absolutely wonderful. Speaking of cute, we got a really cool nameplate of Jeff and Emma as well included. Then there is a brand new identity overhaul emote for the Human Torch version of Future Foundation Human Torch, which obviously is similar to all the other Future Foundation skins we've received so far, including Mr. Fantastic, The Thing, and Invisible Woman most recently. So this goes along with that. Yes, I guess technically he did appear in the comics at one point as Future Foundation Human Torch, and they wanted to keep the theme going. But fear not, for those of you that are like freaking out, like, oh my goodness, we're not going to get Spider-Man. I'm sure Spider-Man is on the way. In fact, I have a prediction for next week, but we'll talk about that in just one moment. And finally, I've been kind of talking around this in circles, but yes, the Future Foundation version of Human Torch will be included as a reward on the free track of this brand new event. Now, from the free track, we then jump to the premium track. And when it comes to the premium track, here's what you need to know. So first and foremost, this event, the premium track portion / the free portion of this event will be available starting with June 19th and ending on July 11th. So keep in mind, similarly to previous event passes / battle passes / anything that is pretty much like a purchasable thing in this game, if you buy the premium track in between this particular time frame, you then have as much time as you want to complete the actual premium track, because it does not expire. So keep that in mind, that will be applicable to this event as well. Now, as far as the cost for the premium track, it will run you 490 lattice, which is identical to the previous Venom event that we had with the Hyper Orange version of Venom. So again, around $5 is what you're going to need to cough up in order to play the premium side of things. Now, what do you get on the premium track? Well, first and foremost, we have the pink bubble version of the Venom costume, which looks pretty ridiculous, but also fun, just an additional recolor of the classic / default look for the Lethal Protector. Then we have an emoji bundle, which does look really, really awesome. I do really like the design for that. Then you're going to be able to unlock the pink bubble version of the Venom nameplate. Then you will be able to unlock yet another emoji bundle. So you're going to really get your fill when it comes to Venom emojis. Then there is a pink bubble spray that you'll be able to unlock. And then we have a very interesting thing, because we have something called Tickle Me Pink as an emote. And the interesting thing is that the trailer itself showcases to us that essentially the emote is going to be like a style changing emote, similarly to what we've seen most recently with the Future Foundation skins, where like they change colors, right, from the black and white design to the white and black design of their costumes. So here you're going to be able to transform from regular Venom by using this emote into the pink bubble version of Venom. Now, there has not been confirmation whether or not there's like a reverting emote, meaning like if you hit the pink bubble emote while you're already pink, will you turn back to default colored Venom? There hasn't been a confirmation of that, but no matter what, like this is kind of an interesting thing that they're implementing, where essentially we might be able to equip emotes onto our characters in order to activate recolors throughout a match, which is kind of an interesting idea. And then, of course, the thing that, in my opinion, seals the deal when it comes to the value of this particular event is the fact that the final reward that you unlock is another costume coin, which, of course, can be redeemed for a slew of different costumes available in the shop. So this is, by the way, I believe the third costume coin that has been given to us so far through all of these different like extra mini battle passes slash events. So let me know what you guys think. Is this something that you will be adding into your collections? Is the Venom's Bubble Pop event something that you're interested in? Do you feel like there are a little too many of these events? Because to me, again, I do think that you could probably make the case there are a lot of these events, but at the same time, the value that they give you in these things is incredible. Like, if you like Marvel Rivals, I don't really know why you would be complaining about this, because A, you're getting for $5 a costume coin, emojis, 2 different skins, a bunch of other emotes, a bunch of other nameplates, sprays. Like, it really screams like a really, really good value. But that's still not all. We still have more exciting stuff to talk about, including the release of the 26-minute plus video by the Marvel Rivals team this past week, titled Art Vision Volume 3, where essentially they give us a lot of really cool insight into the design making process of these characters and heroes, with this one being particularly focused on the hero designs themselves, as well as the costume side of things. Now, of course, the video itself is absolutely brilliant, especially if you're a dork and you really love to look into all of these kinds of extra details. I can't recommend it enough. I thought it was an absolute blast. It shares some really cool stuff, like, for example, the fact that they confirmed that Jeff is the shortest character in the game, with Groot being confirmed to be the tallest character in the game. Beyond that, it shares an incredible set of just concept art images of a bunch of the skins that we ended up with, and kind of like them, I guess, experimenting with deciding which look to go with for a slew of different characters. So again, I definitely recommend checking it out. We have an incredibly cool set of images for concept art for Null, which I am so hopeful that season number 3 is going to be themed around some sort of like Phoenix Force versus symbiotes or something like that. That would be absolutely bonkers. And if somehow, some way we end up with Null becoming a playable character, my goodness, that would be so dang epic. I would be extremely stoked for that. And then we also do have a confirmation of an upcoming skin that will be featured in Marvel Rivals. And the reason why we can safely assume that that will be happening is because this same Art Vision video actually went live before we got the reveal of the Phoenix Knight version of Moon Knight being confirmed coming to the game this week, as we talked about a little earlier in this same very video. But we have a confirmation of Hellfire Gala Thor, who looks absolutely spectacular. We don't know which one of these designs in particular will be the one that we actually end up with in the game, but this is a pretty safe assumption that one of these looks will be appearing in the Marvel Rivals store before Season 2.5 is wrapped up. I personally actually am expecting, remember when I said I have a prediction for next week? I'm expecting next week's release for the skins to be the Hellfire version of Thor, or Hellfire Gala version of Thor, and the Future Foundation Spider-Man, to kind of put a bow on both of those collaborations slash collections. Now, getting back to the actual patch notes for this upcoming update of 1.5 gigabytes, so a pretty substantial update indeed. Obviously does not just contain a lot of cosmetics, but there are some good fixes coming. Like, for example, on the console side of things, I have 100% run into these issues with the lag slash stuttering. So it seems like they will be actually fixing some of that, in particular when you bring up your friends list. If you play on console, you know that when you try to bring up your friends list, the game just like bugs out and drops to like essentially like 1 frame per second. It's absolutely absurd. This patch will be fixing that. It's a massive W there. There's also some fixes that will be getting implemented specifically to the faction icons. And then, of course, like always, we've got some specific fixes that are coming to heroes. So, for example, we have a fix for Wolverine, where essentially his ultimate ability would send enemies flying across the map and just like completely disorienting, which is something that I've continuously run into. So I'm glad that this is going to be getting fixed and patched. Hopefully his ult is going to, at some point, shape or time actually work properly, because I swear I've looked at these patch notes for months now, and I feel like almost always Wolverine appears on here because that character just seems to be absolutely broken. This next one actually does sound pretty funny, but essentially Mr. Fantastic's elongation or flexible elongation ability would sometimes incorrectly interact with the environment and actually cause him to self-KO. via the terrain, which does sound pretty funny, obviously, as long as you're not the Mr. Fantastic player that it's happening to, and as long as you're not in a ranked match. But even if you were in those situations, fear not, this patch will be fixing that. There's a small visual bug for Hulk's incredible leap charge ability, where essentially the UI itself wouldn't indicate to you accurately how long you've charged up the jump. So that will be getting fixed with this patch. Black Widow players, you'll be happy to know that the team up ability issue, where essentially if you use the pulse rifle from the Punisher team up, you weren't able to actually destroy destructible objects. That will be getting fixed with this patch. That sounds like it would have been a nightmare to deal with, so I'm sure Black Widow players will be happy to hear that. And finally, Ultron players, you'll be happy to know that the Ultron's imperative ability is going to be fixed once this patch goes live, because apparently right now, if you would go ahead and use it, it would sometimes cause actions that you use afterwards to not register properly. So again, that will be getting all fixed up and you'll be rocking and rolling. So there you guys have it. A big update is set to launch for Marvel Rivals. Now, since this update is 1.5 gigabytes, I do expect that once it actually becomes available, all the data miners and all those kinds of peeps will be able to find a slew of other things, because again, there's no way that everything that we covered here covers 1.5 gigabytes of content. So again, maybe this is some sort of optimization, but I'm also planning and expecting fully that we will be seeing some interesting leaks once this update becomes available. But of course, if you want to stay up to date with the upcoming updates and you enjoyed today's update, please don't forget to stay subscribed, leave a like on today's video. Thank you guys so very much for your continued support and your kindness. I will hopefully see you guys here on the next one. Peace out. I'll see you all later, alligators.